Welcome to Beyond the Script, where you find good movies and great conversation. We've been having a really good time with our conversations, watching our movies, and finding God in everything we watch. As you know, you can find God anywhere. So let's get started. Our movie for today is Love and Basketball. Yes, one of my favorites. We're going to talk about a little later how this movie is a little different than the others. I love how each episode brings its own special, unique thing. And this episode, it's really my honor to have a guest that parallels Monica, the lead actress in, the lead character, I should say. The actress is Sonali, but our guest parallels the lead character's life. Her testimony is very close to the things that Monica had to go through in the movie. So we're not just getting beyond the script, but getting it on a personal level as well, which is amazing to me. And so it is a little bit different than, of course, us just watching something that we know nothing about or have never experienced and trying to find God in it. But to hear from somebody who actually lived that type of life and things that they had to deal with, and how did they find God, and how did going beyond the script found him. We're just gonna move right along and talk about the movie. In Act 1, the first thing we see is we're watching Monica, which is the lead character. We watch her grow up with her love for her significant other, and basketball. And so in the first act, we see her and her passion for basketball. We come in not with her learning. She's already been a player. She's already fascinated with it. She knows stats. She's only 12, but she is playing ball like a pro, like the boys. And so in Act 1, we watch her go through just trying to prove herself as a basketball player to her neighbors and friends. And we also see in Act 1 that she pretty much is, I don't want to say interested, because in her character doesn't know that she likes a boy. She's just too young. She loves basketball. And so the common thing between her and her neighbor that she likes is basketball. And so we saw early in Act 1 that, his opinion of her mattered when she was, trying to fix her hair and to make sure she looked nice to see him, and, things like that. But, if you didn't care, it would matter to you. Act 2. I love the way the movie gives you quarters, just like you're playing a basketball game. And so from section to section, it's like the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, and it was really, awesome. It kept you engaged in the, a basketball mind frame. If you never played basketball, don't know anything about it, you feel like you're, a part of the, you're a part of the cast and you're a part of the movie because of this. And so it was brilliant. Very good idea. Thank you. For us who didn't know what was going on, it kept us engaged. And moving into Act 2, they're completely grown up. They both got into college. They both went together. But now the real world is happening. They're trying to be in a couple, and we kind of see the worst times of their lives they're trying to experience together and stay together, and they're just on different paths. I don't really feel like they were really on different paths, but in the film it's just one's going the other way, one's going this way, and so we don't really understand, why is everybody so upset. I didn't get it. But looking at it as a whole, I just remember what I felt when I first watched it. I was like, well, why? That's not, what I'm saying? Don't, why are you giving up, a decade of childhood friendship because you're upset, or and I think after watching Act 2, as you gradually go along in the story, you realize the devastation in Quincy, which is one of the lead characters. And then you realize the devastation also in Monica. And so this is the reason why they split. And in Act 2, we had to kind of watch them, build lives apart. And as you're watching the movie, you're falling in love with the characters and hoping they be together and things like that. So we just watched it unravel. And then at the end, it's one of the better ending stories where, they find their way back to each other. But the story kind of goes gradually. You would think that it's a love story, and you would think that you can understand and know exactly what's going to happen, but it's still a story that is worth watching, I would say, even now. This season I picked a lot of old movies because I just, want to find God in relevance, and want to find God and show that he is relevant regardless of how old the movie is, and how it can be, a certain storyline or something that you've seen or watched now or even then, that you can still find God anywhere. Now let's just go beyond the script. This movie, to me, was more literal than it was spiritual. I felt like God is love, and these experiences that we go through with our loved ones and trying to fight for relationships, and even just understand, when is it the right time to be selfish? When is it the right time to be selfless? Because I think all of us know that at some point we get to a place where, am I giving too much? Or does this person do they even appreciate what I'm doing? Or do they understand my sacrifice? These are different things that our minds go through when we are up with the same questions that Monica had when it was a question to either just let Quincy go or to hold on to him. I really felt like going beyond the script here was more literal, like the love that we have is every day. It's not necessarily with a significant other. Sometimes it's just with a friend, a girlfriend, a loved one, somebody who you actually care about the relationship. That relationship matters to you. And if the relationship matters to you, then you're going to do what it takes to make sure that it's catered, it's loved, it's cared for, it's you give it attention. You do what you have to do to make sure that it's okay. And that's what I got. And for me, I felt like that was God, because God is love, and God wants us, in the Bible, it does tell us that he never planned for us to be alone. That wasn't a part of the plan. It wasn't something that he wanted. And if the God, the creator of the earth, says that, it was in his plan for us to not be alone, then relationships matter. If the person the God that created us said that he would rather us not be alone, then relationships matter. And it was the plan for it to matter. Don't get me wrong, some people enjoy being alone. Some people enjoy, their space. Some people just, relationships aren't their thing. I get it, I understand. But even in that, it's still someone or something that's worth you and your time. It's worth even your thoughts. And what I mean by that is the thought of, I kind of like that conversation, or this person makes me happy, or when you think about somebody, there's a joy in your heart. There's something different about it, And so I think beyond the script in Love and Basketball, going beyond the script for myself, loving basketball was extremely literal. Watching the movie, watching love, watching how you can make the wrong mistakes, watching how you can love something the wrong way, watching how you can put something, that material over something that's, real and moral, it's easy, it's in our world, it's easy to love your job more, give your job more attention than you give your family, or, just not really realizing the importance of certain relationships in your life. And these relationships may not be that important to anybody else, but there's certain relationships that are in your life that matter to you, that you want to work for and you're willing to work for. And I really feel like watching this movie took me to that place, took me to a place where, it's worth fighting, it's worth fighting for. She found and he found the love of their lives, and they thought it, not robbery to say, hey, everything else goes away. You matter to me. And so that's how I went beyond the script. I hope that you will watch the movie and love it and go beyond the script and find different ways to find God in it, because that is the source and the point of this show. So now we're gonna move right on along to my exciting favorite part of the show, which is the pure peer thoughts. I'm so excited to bring on the show Miss Isha Shepherd. She's a powerful warrior in Christ, and I really, really love her. I'm glad that I got a chance to meet her. All right, everybody, we are here beyond the script with our peer thoughts with beautiful Isha Shepherd.
Thank you.
Powerful Isha Shepherd. Praying warrior. Isha Shepherd. Yes.
Ooh, that's taking it. She's jumping right in. No, I didn't find it until later. So in the beginning, it was all about basketball for me. I knew that's what I wanted to do. I knew I was going to do it. I knew I was going to play basketball, WNBA, overseas, whatever.
Right.
I knew, right? It wasn't until my junior year in college, when I played for Oregon State, that I've always been like, no gloat, I've always been like the biggest team player, right, on the team. I was always like the star player. And this particular year I got benched.
Whoa.
And I literally only played about 5 minutes a game at Oregon State. Now mind you, I worked my whole life to get up to this point.
Right.
I'm 5'5". It's hard for me, I'm not like this tall 7'8" player, 6'8" player. And so what happened was God was, in a sense, trying to show me. He was giving me subtle hints. So he benched me, and I'm like, how am I benched? And the coach told me I was one of the best players on the team, and players were coming to the coach saying, why aren't you playing Isha? It was that real, and I just didn't play. And I didn't find out till later. I was sitting in my living room some years ago, and a couple years after I finished playing, about 5-6 years after I finished playing, and literally God gave me the revelation, said, I've been trying to tell you that that's not the path that I have for you.
Wow.
So
he had to stop you.
He had to stop me.
That's crazy.
And I didn't pay attention to it.
Oh my God.
During that year, I was like, man.
Monica.
Yeah.
That's for real.
I didn't pay attention to it. And he stopped me. He's like, that's not, I have so much more for you.
Wow.
And that's when I slowly but surely started. I was signed with an agent for 2 years and trying to continue to go play overseas and stuff, and it never worked out. It never worked out. And God was just like, yeah, that's not what I have for you.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's crazy because now we're you. Okay, so that was just the testimony. This is not the book. This is not beyond the script yet. This is the testimony, and but it totally reminds me of Monica because her like God moment to realize that basketball wasn't everything is when she lost him.
That's
when she lost her love.
Right.
And she had at no point thought that basketball wasn't the first of everything and everything. Because she put her dad.
And it was in college too. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Very true.
And it's so funny that her mom, she never stopped loving it because of the issues she had with her mom. She didn't stop loving it with dating and she loved basketball.
She loved it.
And the only hurdle that made her question basketball, it was the only one, was her love for that man. And when he was gone, it wasn't the same.
It wasn't the same.
In this story, this poor baby didn't have no other lasting relationships of any kind.
And it's crazy that you say that, because when I was at Oregon State, I used to tell people these were the two biggest things to me in life at the time, and I said, judge me on it if you want to, but I had my high school sweetheart Rashad, and then I had basketball. Those were the two most important things to me at that time.
So let's get beyond the script.
All right, let's go.
I want to ask you about the scene where I feel like the scene where Monica realized that he was more than just her homeboy is when Gabrielle Union's character asked her to hook her up and give her the note. So this is the ultimate test of friendship. And then they had the scene where she's asking her, and they're in the bleachers. And as she's asking her, you can see her eyes veer to his bottom and stuff. She's looking him up and down at this point. And I think at that moment, where I felt like at that moment, it was like she finally noticed that, this is weird. Like it's a weird moment. And just for a basketball player, and that it's almost like a relationship with basketball. You almost feel like you're cheating. I felt like she was cheating on her basketball by liking him or something.
Right.
I don't know. But going beyond the script around that part, what did you get out of that?
I think for her, it hurt. She's known since, I feel like she's known since she was 12, as they were rolling down the hill fighting with each other. This was the one for her. That didn't happen for everybody. Didn't happen for me, y'all. But I think she knew from that point, and I don't think she was trying to deny it. I just think she still had time.
Right.
She thought that she still had time to, she didn't realize life was so short.
Come together.
So she felt like she just had all the time in the world to be able to connect with him in that type of a way. When she got the note to, and you see it in the car ride home, right?
Right.
She's
had a little attitude.
Like,
She
had some real attitude, like, okay. You gonna take Shawnee?
Right.
She had a little attitude, and I think it was her being upset at herself for not making the move, or just being honest about how she truly felt. And same with him.
Right.
But for her,
Right.
Just
and I felt like with even both of them, it really with her, she didn't really know how. It was like she didn't even know how to express her disdain for her mom.
She just thought basketball and him would be around forever. Just kind of like was her mindset. I feel like.
It was revealed that her mom had only went to a couple of her games.
Right.
And she said she's played over hundreds of games, and her mom only went to a couple.
Two, yeah.
And it was revealed that her mom had no idea that was a big deal. She was just like, you got your friends and your coach and your daddy for that. Like it was nothing. And can you imagine, this is my life. This is all
everything to
I
me.
love. And I am your child. And you didn't think it was important. You know, the hurt.
Let me tell you what's so significant about that. That's very difficult. When you have a child who that's their everything, it's important for you to. I always make the joke, like when I have kids, and if let's say I have a daughter, right? I hope and pray, and I'll be praying very hard on this, that she doesn't want to be a cheerleader. But if she did though, I would support her at all costs. I would need a lot of Serena. I would need you to pray for me, okay? If that happened, but no, it's very important. It's very important that you support them at all costs. The crazy part about it is I had a conversation with my older sister, who played basketball. She wasn't as good as I was, and but she played basketball and ran track in her high school years. And she called me one time and she asked me a random question, and she said, "Hey, we talked about how my mom, so when I started playing, my mom was at almost every game. She would call off of work, or I'm coming into work late because my daughter got a game, right? She was at almost every game, but for Kathy, it wasn't the same. And so she made a statement and said, that she felt some type of way about that. She's like, yeah, like Mom went to all your games, but she didn't really come to mine, and that hit her in some type of way, right? So I think it's very important, when you talk about that scene, and it was a lot of things that were revealed in that scene. Even you let Dad walk all over you, like she let it out.
She let it all out.
She let it
got
out.
smacked, but she let it out.
And
I forgot about that part too. That
yes,
she didn't really
so,
respect her as a woman.
I didn't respect you as a woman because you let Dad walk over you. You spend all these hours cooking this big old meal, and Dad walk in with a couple of pizzas, and you don't even say nothing.
You don't even say nothing.
Right?
And that's, to her,
so
it's just
that, I think that was just her boiling point.
Right. And she was letting it out. And it was also special too to finally hear the mom side.
Right.
Right. And to finally see that this is what she just loves to do it. It's not that I'm, being a sucker or a doormat. I just love to do it, But I want to know, what scene were you talking about?
So the scene of all scenes to me was the bleacher scene at night. The scene where she had curfew. She had to choose.
That was it.
Yes.
That was like
and that was a reason why he left.
Yeah.
And he broke up with her. Because it was like, I just need you to be like, I just found out my dad is cheating on my mom, and you're supposed to be right. You're supposed to be here for me. You're supposed to. So it kind of lets me know that he actually always seen a little something more with her than she did with him at some point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so
I felt like he was more mature when it came to that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, which is shocking because men don't usually mature.
Exactly.
But yeah, that scene where she's like, I gotta be in for curfew, otherwise I'm not gonna start.
I'm not. Yeah.
Right? Now she could have chose to stay with him.
Right.
Or and here's the conflicting part, because she did invite him to go back to her dorm.
Yes.
But he was like, I don't feel like being bothered with nobody. She still offered. It wasn't in the way.
And I think to him, it was more. It should be a given.
Right.
It shouldn't be. That shouldn't even be a thought right now.
That shook him.
It shook him.
That shook him.
It shouldn't even be a thought right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
How you have to even think about that.
Right. Why are you talking about a game right now?
Right.
And it shouldn't even be, why are you even looking at your clock? And I think the whole experience in itself was just, it was heart-wrenching for him.
Yeah, that was tough for him.
Right. And the sad part is I'm sad that Monica had to go through it because she really was in an innocent place.
She was. I mean,
she
didn't mean no harm.
Didn't mean no harm because she loved that boy's stinking gut. So she did not mean, if she would have known that he would have been walking out of her life for from this decision,
Right.
she would have definitely never. She would have not left.
Done it, yeah.
But it's so funny how even in your innocence, you
Right.
can't escape God.
You can't.
You cannot.
And let me throw this in there. Timing is critical. So the timing at that particular time, it just wasn't right. You know, like it had to happen in God's timing. And sometimes it's frustrating because, but you have to go through, you know, the necessary things. You know what I mean? But if you get together too soon, it ain't gonna work out. If you get together too late, you missed out. It has to be right on time when it comes to
and
that.
I didn't even think about that
Yeah.
on her blind love. She
Right.
might what if she got pregnant and
Blew it
all
all.
the
Right.
schooling
And then they
all
wouldn't
the
have been together because
all the-
now she's gonna resent him for
because
getting
she
her
took
pregnant.
took away her basketball career. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
See, powerful Isha. Yes.
What they do, as long as they
Right.
capture your heart. And
Right.
I think Monica and Quincy were meant to be together. Period.
Right.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
For real. I'm so excited.
Yes.
Also, what was I gonna say? I think that that scene kind of revealed that too when they were in college and they were together and in love and happy and they're just playing around and they fell on the lawn and he
when
said
they both went to USC.
yes and he was saying that this is how I know that you're real or something like that. He was saying that. And he truly understood that she was real. You know, she
Absolutely.
loved him purely. And so, yeah, we kind of saw that, like what you were saying, like at the end, like, yeah, you're right. Ain't nobody gonna love me like this girl right here. Like, she loved me through all my crap, you
All
know?
the craziness.
Yes.
Yeah, she done seen all the women coming and
Right.
going. And,
Right.
you know,
And they've been through just like everything together.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
No
I'm so
problem.
excited.
This is my movie. I can talk about it all day.
Right,
All day.
right. Are there any other revelations that you want to tell people about?
No.
You got it all.
Yo, if you have someone in your life who truly loves you, just for who you are, you don't have to change. You know, they just truly love you for who you are. You hold on to that, man. Don't allow these outside distractions to distract you and make you think that the grass is greener. When someone really, really loves you, man, and it's just natural. Hold on to that because that does not come around every day. So that's what I would say, and I think that's what both Monica and Quincy had in the movie of Love and Basketball. It just was a natural love. They didn't have to try. It just their vibe, you know, was just what it was. They were connected, and so if you have that, don't let these women or men lead you astray. Just make sure that you hold on to it because it does not come around every day.
Right.
That's what I would say.
Woo! And that is that. Woo! I love it. Yes,
Absolutely.
so powerful and so true. And it's the first time we had somebody that was truly connected by their life story to the film. So this is exciting and wonderful. We thank you guys so much for being here. And as always,